Hello everybody. Today I will be talking about a case that I caught back in 2016. It is now finally 1 year that I've been off of probation. So I am excited to just share my experience and just overall thoughts on what happened, and hopefully this could help somebody. So one of my friends had got like this new girlfriend. So me and my ex, we would like go out with him and his new girlfriend and like do double dates and just like whatever, do like chill with him and his girl. So one day, like, my friend like literally asked me to be friends with this girl and like basically welcome her into, the circle. I was just like, why, first of all, and two, I was already biased because I knew his previous girlfriend. I remember it just like it was fucking yesterday because I would pick her up, I would hang with her, she would come to my house, we would chill, we would hang, we would talk. Like, I went with her to like the mall to go get like him stuff. I remember this specifically because we were at Chicago Ridge and she had bought him like a fucking badass, I don't even know, Movado. I don't even know if that's the watch, but she had bought him like on credit of like a badass watch. And that was one of the things I was just like, oh, that was one of the things that I noticed about her. That, and like, she would like call me best friend. I think it was that she would call me like best friend, and my real best friend seen it, and those are the things, one of the things that I just like ignored, because of my best friend was even like asking me like, who the hell is this girl, why is she calling you best friend, like, I've never met, I don't know who this girl is, like, just I guess like just trying to bring that awareness to me, like, she sounds like a fucking weirdo. Other friends would tell me, like, as time progressed, other friends will tell me like, oh, that's little Gina, like, oh, she wants to be like you, and I'll be like, what? Like, no, like, why do you say that? Like, I really was genuinely fucking looking at this girl like I didn't have no fucking ill will towards her or anything. Like, I don't know what the hell happened. Well, I do, but yeah, we'll get there. So then eventually, we got closer. Like I said, she would come over to my house. Like, we would share stuff. We would go out to eat together. Just like talk and stuff. And I want to say around May-ish was when the like weird stuff started happening. They ended up breaking up. This girl and my friend. So when she would see me like on Snapchat or just like any type, or in somebody else's videos too, right, on probably their Snapchat, she would just like get, I don't know, or jealous or envious, I guess, because of I was around her ex at the time. Through like a conversation where she wanted me to like not hang with him. And I just remember thinking like, girl, like, I met you through him. So I don't know if I specifically said that, but these exact words I remember because she said it back to me. So that's kind of like why I kind of got the hint that maybe she was jealous or she was envious for some reason. So I had said something to her when she had made the comment of, not to hang around him, or like, why am I hanging around him still, or something like that. And I told her like, like, get out of your feelings. I was basically like letting her know like, whatever the hell you guys got going on, it got nothing to do with me. Get out your feelings. This is my nigga, this is my friend, this is my boy. So yeah. So as that was going on, right, that was like some side shit that had nothing to even do with me. That was just like her, I guess, like putting that negative energy towards me and my relationship, because at the same time I was going through my own breakup with my ex. So we were like, me and the dude, we were together for almost like 9 years. Like, we had already had like so many other problems that it was already, we were already separating. He was just around still, and we finally had like separated. So when she started feeling like, I don't know what possessed her to think that I was messing around with her ex, which was my friend, the guy that was with her. um she started like putting this idea in my ex's head. So both these, people, both our exes are like thinking that me and this guy are messing around, and then they go and mess around. So yeah, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what to even say about that. Like, you know, that just shows their character, not mine. But anyways, I mean, what I did shows my character as well. What I did at the end. But again, I'll get into all of that afterwards, because all of this has just been a really big, lesson learned, and just like eye opener and all of that stuff. But so yeah, so when she started feeling some type of way after I told her about, chill out, get out your feelings, like, I'm not your fucking enemy. She really took it to the heart, or she really may have, or maybe I hurt her feelings. I don't know. There is a big, huge lack of communication in all parties. All four parties are involved, including myself. So again, lesson learned, right? So eventually, like, we fall off, and she ends up going with my ex, and they take a Snapchat video. She takes a Snapchat video kissing him. So they're kissing, and they send it to my friend. My friend shows me. I'm like, what the fuck? Who the fuck does this bitch think she is? And the person that I am, I didn't have, it wasn't coming from a jealous heart. It was coming from like disrespect and just like overall morality. Like, what the fuck? Who the fuck does this bitch think she is? I literally in my head was thinking, like, this bitch is around my family. This bitch is around my nieces. Like, just like, I was so fucking heated, you guys. The first thing I did was call up my motherfucking people, and we went over there and fucked Shorty up. You hear me? And we didn't even... And we did not even fuck Shorty up like that. But, hey, I feel like if we would have, hit the girl the wrong way, she could have fucking died. We all would have been locked up for the rest of our fucking life. So I take all of this as a motherfucking blessing. Most definitely. But we'll get into that part as well. So, even my friend, when he had showed me the video, he was telling me, I was like, what the fuck, I'm gonna fucking beat her fucking ass. And he was like, nah, like, just leave it alone. And I wish I would have listened to him, but at the same time, I probably wouldn't have learned so much up until this point and like be where I'm at now. Because where I'm at now, I could honestly say that, like, all of that, like I said, that I've experienced, I don't really think I would have be in the position that I'm at right now. So yeah, excuse me. So yeah, so we end up going to the girl's house, and I know where she lives. Like, I know that her door is open. Like I said, I was cool with her. Like, I had a few stuff over her house as well. So that's like how close we were. And I feel like I definitely let my emotions take control and guide me, which I honestly, I've never experienced that before ever in my life. So for, that to just be like the first thing, like, I just like understand now that, like, you can't really let people control your emotions, or like you can't really go based off of your emotions either. There's no logic to reacting off of your emotions, because eventually your emotions change, eventually your feelings change, and eventually the whole situation and your whole perspective may change. It may take a day, it may take a couple hours, it may even take you to just talk to somebody and say, hey, look, this is what the hell I'm going through, what do you think I should do? Me, I did not do that. The type of person that, the way I grew up, I basically do, I don't want to say this the wrong way, but I basically do whatever I feel, right? And it did not lead me the right way. The way that I felt disrespected. I felt embarrassed. Okay, hold on. I felt disrespected because of the girl was like, supposed to be my friend, and like she was in my house and like just like spending time with me. Like, I feel like that's weird. Like, that's weird for you to be like around somebody like that, and then like you go and do that to somebody as well, and like go with their their ex. Like, I don't know. I don't even care about girl code. Like, it's about fucking morals, bitch. Like, what the fuck? But hey, it is what it is. That's neither here nor there. So, and I felt embarrassed because, again, I allowed this girl into my freaking space, my life. People are looking at me weird because I let this weirdo into my life, and they're looking at me some type of way. So yeah, I felt embarrassed as shit. I really, honestly, like I said, me and the guy had already fell off. There wasn't no like jealousy or envy. It didn't come from that. It came from me feeling disrespected. And unfortunately, the way that I was shown younger, growing up, we fought all the time. Even if like somebody was looking at you the wrong way, like, I don't know. I know that there's some people who have grown up like that, but everybody doesn't grow up like that. And that's another thing that I think happened when the case, when the incident happened, was that the girl, she didn't have nobody to really call, to come to her rescue. So she had no other choice but to call the police. And for a while, I used to really have a lot of like anger towards the situation and towards the female, and just like think like, like, you're a fucking punk bitch, like, for calling the police, like, you're a fucking trick ass, like, fucking fight me, just like having those feelings. But I have also been through, I've also been bullied, like, as a child, like in elementary school. So I don't know, God works in mysterious ways. Thank you, I love you, I'm blessed. But I did start thinking, like, what the hell, like, that's bogus as fuck, like, I started feeling bad. Like, I feel bad that we went over there, fucking beat her ass. Like, I'm pretty sure she was scared, Okay, let me get into the fight. Okay, I know that's what y'all want. Okay, so the day of the incident, typical, ready to fight, put some gym shoes on, get your clothes, put your motherfucking hair up, call your people, let's go, let's ride. That's exactly how it happened. And we went to the girl's crib. I fucking knock on the door's open, it like swings open, and she's standing right there, and she has like my sunglasses in her like in her head and her hair, and she's on the phone. And when the door opens, she like turns around and looks at me. And come to find out, like, I find out later on that she was like talking to my ex at that point. Like, when she was talking to who, I like swing the door open. She fucking looked at me, and like, I remember her look. She was scared, like, shook, surprised. And I was like, hey bitch, give me my motherfucking shit, give me my motherfucking stuff, blah blah blah, fucking dumbass hoe, stupid bitch, like, talking shit. So she just like, hold on, like, let me go get it. So I turns around and walks into her room. I walk in there, and I see some girl. She's sitting on the couch, and she like says hi to me, and I was just like, whatever. I didn't even say anything to her. So I just like turned around and looked to the girl, and I'm like, you know, I started talking shit to her, like, you know, all of this shit be Taco and I did not mean to say his name. Okay, and I'm like, all this shit because of dude, like, you're fucking, you know, I was talking shit on her face. Before you know it, like, the people that were with, it was no fucking talking after that. They just killed that shit. You know, we just started fucking hitting her and, like, punching her. She just, like, balled up to the ground and, like, I was like, took that shit. She was a little girl. She was like small, fucking little, like I want to say like 120. She was a little tiny little thing. And, you know, I just remember like kicking her and just like, I remember like looking for stuff to take from her. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like the way everything happened, it happened so fast, it happened so quick. It was like, as soon as we like started punching her and like kicking her, and she like fell to the ground and like was covering herself, and like the girl that she was with that was sitting on the couch, she wasn't doing anything. She was like screaming at the top of her lungs. And the where that girl lived, she lived in the basement, and there was people that lived in the house. So I just remember thinking like, I remember telling her shut the fuck up. And oh my god, it like reminds me of like a movie when like, you know, robbers like go into someone's house and like tie them up and like somebody's screaming at the top of their lungs. Or like, I don't know what the fuck we were thinking. I don't know what I was thinking. But anyways, like I said, because you know, shit could have really went left, especially just like, you know, that shit happens in real life where people get hit the wrong way and they fucking die. So yeah, I thought about that for a long time too. Like, you know, thank God, you know, shorty didn't fucking, nothing really happened to her. So I want to say, like, you know, we did not create great bodily harm to her. She refused the ambulance that whenever she had called the police once we had left. Because once the girl started screaming at the top of her lungs, I started telling them, hey, let's get the fuck out of here. Let's get the fuck out of here. And, like, after we just whooped her ass or whatever, jumped her, we ended up leaving and just, like, rushing out. And, I left with like my stuff, which was like a book and like some Ray-Bans and shit. And I don't know, it's just like the irony of it, you know, like that book, like somebody else has, they're borrowing it. So it's like I know that I didn't really go there for that book. It was just an excuse to go there for my book and my fucking sunglasses, you know. And it just pissed me off even more that the bitch was fucking wearing my shit, you know. But I'm not materialistic at all, so none of that shit matters to me at all. But it was the disrespect, right? It was just the disrespect that literally compelled me to do this. That literally wanted to like teach her a lesson and like wanted to like show her like, you know, bitch, you can't do this to me. Or, you know, it's like trying to have control over the situation. Like, all right, watch, now I'm gonna fuck your ass up. You want to play with me? Let's play. But, you know, she went a route that I was not expecting at all, right? Like I said, at first I was just like, what? This bitch called the cops? Why wouldn't you call somebody? Like I said, where I grew up at, like, if I was to get jumped, I'm not calling the police. I'm calling people to go look for your ass, and we're gonna go fuck your ass up because you came and did X, Y, and Z to me. But, and I, like, honestly, that never really happened to me. Ever. Nobody's ever tried me like that. When I was younger, I was bullied, and, like, my sister had to go to somebody's house, but that was, like, when I was a child. But growing up, I ended up turning into the bully. So I want to say that was like my last straw being a fucking bully. I really just, you know, if I was going to keep on with that attitude and with that perspective and with those type of actions, there's no way I wasn't gonna not end up in jail. So eventually, yeah, somebody's gonna call the police on you. You ain't got no fucking reason to put your hands on anybody. And I would preach that to my ex. You know, I don't give a fuck what you see me doing. Nobody has, or what you see anybody doing. You don't have no reason to put your hands on anybody. If you're defending yourself, that's a whole nother situation. But because you're mad or because somebody made you mad, you have no fucking right to put your hands on anybody. And that's just period. Because again, you never know who you're touching. You may be fucking, you know, hitting this person and they fucking got lawyer money. You don't. Or they're willing to go to court. You're not. You got kids or you got a good job. They don't. They got all the time in the fucking world to make your life miserable. So that's exactly how it played out. After, like, she called the police and, like, made these charges, it was like literally just negative as shit from there. She basically, like, told the detective it was me, two of my family members, and one of my friend. So one of my friend got charged with the same thing. She was not even there. She was not there at all. Like, why would I say all of this to tell, you know, this little lie? No, this girl was not there. She got charged with everything that we got charged with, and she didn't even, when it came to, like, the system, the criminal justice system in Chicago, they didn't give a fuck what the hell we were saying. They were going based off of her. And this is what happened. The day of the incident, later on that night, it was actually my birthday. So I was celebrating, I was drinking, I was feeling myself because I just did this to this girl, you know, ha ha ha, blah blah blah. So this detective ends up calling me and he's just like asking me questions, and I'm like, who the fuck are you? Fuck you. You know, I don't give a fuck about you or this girl. Like, I was just like, ooh, stank ass attitude with this detective. So he was basically telling me, like, oh, well, if you don't want to tell me anything, we're going to go to your job and arrest you. And I'm just like, fuck you. You know, I'm going to call my lawyer. Like, I don't give a fuck. You could go to my job. Like, I was just, like, being, like, hella arrogant. And eventually, I don't even know how it happened, but he didn't go to my job. What ended up happening was I had to tell my job and tell them what happened. So I ended up talking to my lawyer, and he's like, look, turn yourself in before they go to your job. And it was just like, it just happened to be a weekend that I was off. So I had enough time to turn myself in. My lawyer was like, you know, we'll get you out the next day. And that was basically what ended up happening. But the detective, he was basically threatening me over the phone for, like, me to give him answers and stuff. So, again, hopefully this video helps you. If any detective is calling you over the phone, asking you questions about anything that happened, I don't care if you did it or not. You are not supposed to answer anything, especially over the phone. You don't know who that person is. You don't know where they're from. You don't know who you're talking to. And that could go against you in court, like, 100%. So be very careful. Even if they threaten you and say, we're going to go to your job and lock you up, hey, do what you have to do. I'm calling my lawyer. Do not say anything. So, yeah, I mean, not only did I not say anything, I was being a bitch to him too. So he was like, oh yeah, all right, fine. You want to play that way? We'll play that way. I'll see you later. Have a good one. You know, being an asshole right back to me. And that's what he did. He overcharged. So he did the highest charge that he can possible, right? This girl went into this house. She, you know, they ransacked her house. Okay, we could charge her for a home invasion. So they charged me with the home invasion. criminal trespassing, right? That falls right under creating great bodily harm because of we attacked her. They had like took pictures. She didn't have like a black eye. She wasn't bleeding. She denied ambulance assistance or medical attention. And she just like I said, pointed out one wrong person. So it was just like a really weird, messy, hot fucking mess ass situation. So after once all that stuff started happening with like me getting arrested, I had to turn myself in. So the night that it happened, the detective was threatening me. I believe the next day was when I talked to my lawyer, and then the following day I turned myself in. So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Wednesday was when it happened. Thursday was when I was talking to my lawyer, and Friday was when I turned myself in. And then that weekend I was off, so I was able to come back to work. And this is what happened. So when I turned myself in, it was actually just like a really fucked up situation because like my nieces were with me, and I don't want to, and I eventually talked to them after, and just like now, just like letting them know, like that's not cute, it's not cool, it's not okay to go to jail, like this is not something that you want. But little things like that matter to me now because of you don't really know, or you don't really pay attention to who's paying attention to you, or you don't really think that like your family is possibly could be following in your footsteps by just what you're showing them. So I definitely had to take a step back because of that. I do not want my little baby nieces running around thinking that they could just touch anybody because of they made them mad, or because of they felt disrespect or whatever. Because if somebody was to do something to them, yeah, probably be in jail. But anyways, so back to when I had to turn myself in. So eventually turned myself in. Again, it was the 8th district, Chicago CPD. Y'all ain't shit. And basically normal intake, right? Bullshitting with me, asking me questions, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna talk to you about anything. Can you please stop asking me? And they were like, oh, ha, 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 like, you guys really fucked her up, and just like trying to like be cool with me, to like make me say some stuff like, oh yeah, for real, like some people will slip though. Some people will slip. That's their tactic. That's how it that's what a psychological tactic will do to you. So eventually I ended up getting transferred to like one department to another. I ended up going to like 51st, and then they transferred me to 26th Street. So when they transferred me to 26th Street, I had court the next day. When I had court the next day, my lawyer showed up, right? And I remember being in the cell, and like all the girls are like talking to each other, and like I walk in there and I'm just like not even like looking at nobody, not even paying them no mind, just like focused on something else, not even paying attention. So I like sit down, and they're like, oh, what are you in here for? And I'm like, oh, I can't talk about it. I'm like, I have a lawyer. I can't talk about it. And they're like, oh, damn, like you got a lawyer. Damn, that's what's up. Oh, like hopefully they get you out and da-da-da. And I'm like, yeah, I know, hopefully. So he didn't tell me anything about being on like house arrest or like what was going to happen. I just like went to court, and at court they fucking say all types of shit. So I ended up getting house arrest, and I ended up having to pay a $5,000 bond. My bond was $50,000. Yeah, $50,000, and you have to pay 10% of it So my family had to pay $5,000 of it. They paid it. I was on the roster to get released on EM, on the band, and that's basically what happened. I was put on the band for, I believe, like 2 months, because it happened late June. It was already July by the time I was on the band. It was like July 4th I was on the band. And by September, I was back working on the band. No. July, I was on the band up until August, because what happened with that was I got placed on like a movement to go to work, and I had the band on me. So I had told my boss, like, I got into, some trouble and da da da, going through the case. They got me on the band, but look, I got movement. I could go to work. Like, is there a way you guys could let me in? And they did. They just like let me in. I used to work at the Juvenile Detention Center on Roosevelt and Hamilton. If you're from Chicago, the Audio Home. If you don't know what that is, that's a juvenile center. They house the inmates there. And I was basically walking through that facility with a fucking band on me. It was so wild. I would like go through the metal detectors, and like they would allow, like it would beep, and like I would still go through. It was so fucking crazy. And eventually, like, I didn't even get fired because of like the detective or like because of anybody. It was me. I applied for a position, and why the hell, I have no clue. Like, I thought I was like trying to do something better while something was negative was happening. I was trying to do something else to kind of like help me get a step ahead while this shit is going on. So I had applied for a position that opened, and because of I applied for another position that opened, they had opened my whole background all over again. I mean, it's the Cook County, like, you would expect that. I mean, I did not even think of that at the moment, but now, like, looking back, retrospect, like, duh, of course they're gonna do that. So yeah, when they found out about that, they told my boss, like, yeah, she can't be here. So I had to be released from there. And after that, I was just really like, what the fuck am I gonna do for work? That is a whole nother video. But so after I got off on house arrest, I want to say like after 2 months, like around September, around the same time that I was released from work, was around the same time that I was released off of the band. So eventually, we're just going to court. Court was like continuance for almost a fucking year. Like, we were just fighting it for like a whole year, and it was a really difficult situation because I was involved, my family was involved with this, so our decisions were like all different. All of our views and what we wanted to do was different. All of the outcomes were different. Like, I had to pay the money and go on house arrest. One of my other family members just had house arrest and like didn't have to pay the money, but her house arrest was like way longer than mine was, and that may or may not have been because she had cases before. But either way, like I said, all of our situations were still so very different. And then another one of my family members, they just had to pay the money, no house arrest. So all of our, like I said, all of our outcomes were just totally different. They didn't treat us the same. Everything was just like a really, again, hot ass fucking mess. So as we're fighting it, like, it was like really weird because our first lawyer was a family member, and then like something happened with his license where he couldn't do it anymore, so he had like an assistant come and help us. So then when his assistant would come, we were seeing him consistently, and then he passed away. Yeah, it was really weird. He passed away in his sleep, and then like our original freaking lawyer like went MIA somewhere. He had like got himself into some trouble, and we were stuck with nobody. So now all of us had to have like different lawyers, and it cost us some money. Excuse me. It definitely cost us some money. It definitely cost us some it definitely we definitely paid a price for it, if that's a better way to say it. We definitely paid a price for it. And honestly, for me, again, in no way, shape, or form is it okay to put your hands on anybody, but I would not have done anything different. I don't regret anything. I honestly think that this was just a very blessing in disguise that was, in some way, shape, or form going to eventually have to happen for, again, me to be to where I'm at now. So, as this case was going on, like there was a lot of stuff that was like said, like where the girl would like go on social media and she would like make fun of me about losing my job, and like just saying like that's what I get, and just like the comments that she would make would just like make me clarify more that this was a deeper issue than her just thinking I was messing around with somebody. Like, this girl has serious insecurities. This girl has serious fucking issues, like to the point where you're so envious and so jealous of somebody, to the point where you're, where you want to do that. Again, I can't really judge because my reaction is no better by me going there and wanting to stomp her face into the fucking ground, right? That's not no better than her wanting to ruin my life and get me fired and get me arrested and make me spend all this money and, get me in trouble and break up relationships or whatever her intentions were. So, it's a lot. It's definitely a lot that went down. After a year and a half of fighting it, all of us finally got probation. Again, different. Our court dates were different. Everything was different. And I guess like there may or may not have to be like a part 2 to this video. If you guys have any questions, that I may or may not have mentioned. Because, different details kind of bring everything together and kind of like makes more sense. So if I did miss anything, I'm sorry. Basically just trying to get as much information out as possible. After the after the court was settled, well, there was actually an incident. Sorry, not an incident, but there was actually a situation with the court. So as I was going to court, I was talking with my friend, the one who was charged, who wasn't even there. I kept talking to her, and she was just telling me like, can you tell your lawyers like to tell them that that I wasn't there. And morally, like, I know she wasn't there. Like, I know she wasn't there. I don't know why the hell this girl lied on her and, got her arrested and, like, pointed her out. But she was not there. And it was just, like, I felt responsible. I felt guilty for that shit. So I was just, like, trying my best to, like, tell my lawyer, like, hey, can you, throw in that, hey, Layla Enriquez, sorry, I keep saying names, that this girl was not there. One of the defendants, she actually wasn't there. And me wanting to, like, bring, my family in and ask them to help her and say that as well, it was just really a really sticky situation because there was already a lot of tension that was coming from me. So for me to ask them to help her out, they weren't having it. But, they definitely felt bad and didn't understand why she would lie and say it was her either. But they also didn't have any, like, really compassion and didn't really give a fuck at that point. They really wanted to just help themselves, and I don't blame them. So, I remember in court, like, right before all of this probation, like, before they gave me the probation, I remember telling them, um, like that girl, she wasn't here, and like they stopped the court and they're like, whoa, 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 like you can't say that and da. I'm like, but it's the truth. That girl was not there with us. You're sitting there asking me if this is the truth. They ask you, is everything that raise your hand, is everything that they're saying here true? No, it's not. And when I said that, everybody like looked at me and they're like, what? Like, the lawyer was like, well, no, don't say that. And I'm like, but she wasn't there. Like, there has to be a way that you guys could freaking dig into it and see and investigate, because that's like what you guys do, prosecutors. So I was just like, I really, really was trying to, like, do the right thing, but that's not how the court works. The court, in no way, shape, or form do they do the right thing. So, Lay, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. But, yeah, so then after all of that happened, there was like a lot of little stuff, like getting dropped and being dirty and, me, and like having to go to court again, and like when I was on probation, I was going to be off like in around December, and like I wasn't because I was still smoking and I got dropped dirty and just like stuff like that. It was just like I was so happy to be off of it when I got off of it last year in 2019. So now I have actually been off of it for a whole year, and I want to say from 2016 till now, my like whole life has changed for the better. For like, it kind of did like a whole 180, and it's just like amazing what really came out of this. I had, this was like the final straw to like end the relationship that I was in, which was a really abusive relationship. So it was just like, I don't know. For me, I guess my experience, if you want a video on that, I could go on that too. Just let me know in the comments. But for me, it was just like the cherry on top, it was just like the last straw for me. And it was kind of like an excuse, like, finally I have an excuse to, get away from this guy, and, like, you're nothing but trouble, and like, just finally. So, I definitely wouldn't have been able to come back after this. I felt like there is no salvation after that. So, for the relationship. So, after that, now where I'm at right now is salvating my relationships with my family members, the people who were involved, and just like giving back to the community. I started my own nonprofit organization. I, met so many people and networked with so many different people that it is like, it's amazing because throughout the whole time, like, even though I was fighting a case, even though I was on house arrest, even though like I was on probation, like, I never stopped working. Like, the type of person that I am, I'm going to make shit happen no matter what. So yeah, I was like on probation and going to court and whatnot, but I was like networking with so many people, and like and just like meeting new people that I ended up, getting hired at this school, and then like I was hired at this nonprofit, and then like I was like working a second job in the night, and then like I, started working with this other nonprofit, and it was just like one right after the other. Like I had so many opportunities, so many work opportunities, so many business opportunities, so many like industry opportunities, just like getting my foot wet with music, getting my foot wet with like poetry, and presenting myself, and like being creative, and like just like doing the things that I love, or that I didn't even know that I love, because I was so sucked into a certain type of lifestyle, or like a certain type of relationship, or in the world that I was in, I was not able to be like free like that. So again, this whole experience, I definitely feel like I flipped it and turned it into a positive, because I could have really easily just been like, fuck this bitch, and looking for her, and like wanting to hurt her even more, or just like being spiteful. But that's not in my blood. Again, that's not even how I was to begin with. I never had any ill will towards the girl in the first place, until I seen the video and just instantly felt the disrespect. So, again, that's neither here nor there about how I feel. The girl probably, would never really, I don't know, if we could ever, I don't even know what it's called. If we could ever talk about it, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm not there yet, but I'm here where I'm able to talk about it and express myself. Being honest, yeah, I'm not ready to actually confront the girl and tell her sorry or anything. But hopefully she learned some things too, right? I'm not no one to say anything. Everybody has their day. That's all I could say. But yeah, if you guys want like a more in detailed story about this, maybe we could do like a part 2. Maybe you guys could ask me some questions. Basically I just wanted to shine some light on like women and like probation, and just like girls, and like how we interact with each other. Everybody doesn't grow up the way you grew up, so putting your hands on somebody is not something that is an alternative. That's something that you learn. That's learned behavior. It's not cool. It's not cute. You or your family, you may have siblings that they are going to grow up and see that and think that that is okay, and in no way, shape, or form is it okay. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see more videos, I will be posting soon. So go ahead and subscribe, and thumbs up if you like. Thank you.